Welcome, 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 welcome.
Hey.
You know, I'm so excited because this has been 9 months of me trying to manifest my best life. And before I introduce you guys to my guests, 6 months ago, I thought about doing a podcast. And I was like, maybe I should do it. Then all of a sudden, it just manifested. And so today I have 2 bossy-ass women. Can I say that? Can I say ass? Good. On my show today. And I wanted to make sure that when we did do the launch of our show, I brought it in with 2 women who I feel like are just doing major things in their fields. Desi Gallow. Hey, welcome to the Bossy Table.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Desi is a realtor. She works for Keller Williams. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
My name is Desi Gallow. I've been in real estate for 3 years. I just do what I have to do. I love it. I've really found my passion in it and just taking it by storm from nothing, from the ground up. So I'm excited about it.
I love it. I love it. And you're doing some big things with that.
Thank
got
you.
Your marketing on and doing events and mixers.
Yes.
Hello. And then right next to her, we have Andrea Everline. You know what? You do so much. Your title's about to be so long. I mean, you're a philanthropist. I mean, you're a motivational speaker. You own your company, Refuel. What don't you do?
I can do it all.
Well, you definitely dominate in everything you do, and I'm so proud of you. Proud of both of you ladies.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Bossy Table.
Thank
you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. I do want to tell you this. One of the great things about us having this platform with everything that's going with the news, you know, with women's movement, is a chance to show women how women can celebrate and elevate each other.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what we're doing on this platform. And I do want to take it back a little bit before you guys became who you are today, because you know we all had some growing pains. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
We didn't wake up like this.
No.
We had to get here. Am I
Absolutely.
right?
Facts.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, my life, 9 months ago was like totally different, and I'll share a little bit about that later. But Andrea, what were you doing before you became who you are today? Like, how did your life look? Like, I mean, tell me.
Well, it all depends what year you want to choose.
Take us back to where you want to take us back to.
Okay, cool. Honestly, before the elevation, I was working a regular job, dreaming, but also still executing, putting things on paper, and just really trying to see, kind of like how you were 6 to 9 months ago. God, what do you want me to be? Right? Mm-hmm. And so finding my center, that's where I was at before things kind of took off. And I was working. I always say when my opportunity comes, it will find me working. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was working, not necessarily where I wanted to work at, but I was working, for sure working, and constantly connecting at the same time. But I wanted to collide into my opportunity with work. So that's what I was doing.
And sometimes it takes you have to have some other jobs before you get your dream job.
Absolutely.
I think
I
people
agree.
sometimes afraid to admit that they had to struggle a little bit before they, got on that platform.
Yes.
Hello.
Absolutely.
I mean, that process is real.
So real.
Yeah.
If you ask me where I was, I lived, and I was living in LA. That was a point in time where I was homeless. Not homeless like staying in somebody else's house. I'm talking about homeless. I was homeless. And so the grind was real. The grind was real lost at some points because you get discouraged. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I knew that what I wanted to do, but I had to, like you said, I had to do other things in order to financially back what I wanted to do. So I kept saying, there ain't no plan B. There's no plan B. There's no plan B. But right now,
you have to drive that home,
yes,
don't you?
Yes.
Like you can't have no other thing in your head, like
sure.
willing to die for it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how your attitude have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took big risk. I took big risk before things changed for me.
What did you do to navigate, because we always have that voice to say, no, you can't do it, or, it may not work, or what if? I mean, what do you do with the what ifs? Because I know even with this platform, it was a time when I was like, oh my gosh, what if I can't do a podcast? What if it don't work for me? But I know sometimes we just can't get stuck on that. But I mean, what did you do? What did you tell yourself? Like, how did you keep yourself moving forward, doing your whole process?
I always tell people I have a Muhammad Ali personality. Like, I really am.
I can see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I can see that. I know you. I can see that.
I do. I never, to be honest, not one time did I question God. I think not one time. I think I've seen God work so many miracles in my life. And just like the protection that I've had over my life, the favor I've had in my life. I never worried, you know. There was times to where I was like, man, where is this going to come from? And then I checked myself, like,
Check
come
yourself.
on. Yeah,
Uh-huh,
I checked myself,
absolutely.
like, come on, like, what's wrong with you? You know, like, if you're going to be in it, be in it. You know, you got to be all the way in. It's like having a relationship. So I was all the way in. The commitment was there. So one thing I can never, people always ask me, what is it that you can that's consistent about you? I never give up. I will never give up. I don't care if it's on a treadmill.
Hell yeah.
I just can't give up. It ain't happening.
Yes.
You know, so this is where you're gonna find me working all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
You said some things that I love, like the whole thing about just the consistency part and just like having it in your head that this is what's going to be. I'm not giving up. And you pretty much take that principles and rules you live by and you use that to create your best life. And one of them, Andrea is also one of my bossy women, like the ones I have that are like in my tribe that help me on my journey towards creating my best life.
Yeah.
And it's 9 of them, and she's one of the 9. And one of the things I got from her that I learned during the time that I worked with her was create, plan, and execute that thing. Pretty much, like you, from the beginning to the end, you don't stop. You know,
absolutely.
and that's why I've taken that with me. Now, Desi, girl, what was you doing before? Like,
Well, before this, I was actually studying pharmacy. I was doing well in college. I had a 3.8 GPA, but I was like, but it wasn't for me, and I was doing it for the money.
Yeah.
And so I had friends that were entrepreneurs, and I was working at a boutique at the time. So we went to Dallas one weekend, and man, I'm like, these people are living different. Like, they have freedom of time and everything. So I'm like, I want to do something different. And so I decided to get into real estate because I love houses. I love helping people. And I just felt like it would be a great field for me. And I thought, I was going to have that freedom of time. But no, it's not like that at first. You really have to grind. You really have to work. And a lot of people don't know this about me because of my success with real estate. But shit, I failed that real estate test 3 times.
Oh, wow.
I felt it one time.
That's
You remember
big.
I said that, was like,
Yeah.
I had to take it again because it's
sure.
not easy. Like,
It's not easy.
there's
That
a lot of studying.
isn't easy.
You have all like I had distractions around me. I was like, I'm gonna have to shut down my whole entire life to pass this test.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy because when I went the first time, I knew, I'm like, baby, look, I'm about to change my whole life. I'm about to be selling luxury real estate. All these
Yes, girl. Yes.
all these fake friends I have. I'm about to get rid of all them. I'm about to level up on everything.
Yes.
No, baby. It didn't work like that. So when I went to take my
Yes.
test, y'all, I failed it. I passed one of them, but then I failed one of
Which one
them.
did you pass first?
I passed the state one, but I think I
Yeah.
failed the national one.
I
It's one of
passed the
them that's
national,
really
I failed my
hard.
state.
It's
Yeah.
one that's really hard. That's
The
one I
state
failed.
one is hard. Like,
That
oh
must be
my
the one.
gosh. Like, that national first time did it. The second time I was like off by 1 point. And I was like,
Yeah.
by 1 point I didn't do it. Yeah. Like,
and
God,
you're
what
like
you trying to
looking at
do?
all these girls coming out and they pass and you getting the score right then and
Yeah,
there.
they tell you.
Yeah.
And they hold your paper over and pass it over to you.
I'm like, dang, they
like-
walking off happy, and I'm
Yeah,
like, God. But I was really, really going through a struggle at the time with my relationship with my friends and what I was doing with my life because I had then left school, I left the boutique, and I was just like, God, I know this isn't what you want from me. Like, why are you not helping me? Why am I here? And I would get mad. I would ask God, and I was fasting. I was like, I wasn't drinking. I wasn't watching TV. I wouldn't listen to even music if it wasn't church music. Like, I stopped everything. And I'm
Desi,
like,
you was intense, girl.
why am I still here? Why,
Your
Lord?
holy quiet place.
But
Yes,
he
yes.
wanted me to go through that. Yes. I went straight to
Where's
church,
the
baby.
all? We need all up in here. We need some all.
But he was like, he wanted me to go through that and to
Yeah.
earn it. And so I
Absolutely.
went back.
It was your
y'all.
process. You had to go through that.
It was my process. So I went back to take it again. Mind you, they make you take everything off, your glasses, your jewelry, your coat. They check your skin and everything. So
All up your sleeves and everything.
So I ended up, I had a really nice diamond necklace. I ended up losing that day because for some reason they had something wrong and I had to go back and check my papers. So I went in the hallway and I was shoveling stuff. So I'm like, I lost my necklace at that place. I never got it back. And I'm like, God, is this really for me? I don't even know no more. So then I went back. I studied some more. The third time, y'all, I pictured myself going in there and passing that test. And I was like, I'm going to call my dad and my boyfriend after this, and I'm going to let them know that I passed. And I pictured it all. Literally, when I left, that test was easy the third time. It was easy all of a sudden, and I passed it. And
Your
rest
mindset was
history.
different going in.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
different. And I mean, I was really faithful. I knew that this is what God had for me, but I couldn't understand why it wasn't happening at the time that I wanted.
I have a question. So when you went in the second time, how did you feel?
I thought I was ready.
Really?
But I was really nervous, though.
Okay, so
I
you
was still
felt
nervous.
the second time, and then after you felt the second time, how did you feel after that?
I'm like, man, I kind of felt good about it. I felt like I was kind of prepared for it this third time. I felt like this got to be it. Third time's a charm. That's kind of.
But what triggered you to say, you know what, I'm going after it again? I'm going to go for the third time, because let me tell you something. It's people that will wait, or they'll say, you know what, maybe God doesn't want me to do this.
Yeah. Right, I see.
Right. So what made you say, you know what, this is really what I'm going to do? Like, I'm going to go back the third time and go make it happen. Like, what made you do that?
Because when I was studying, I developed a passion for it, and I just saw myself working in real estate.
Your
and
imagination,
to be
though.
honest,
Imagination,
yeah.
something else.
Vision,
It'll take you
baby.
everywhere. It'll take you where no one can
Vision.
take you.
Think it, see it, believe it, like they
Yes.
say. But like, it was no other option. I was in a very, very, very dark place, and like contemplating suicide. Like, it was horrible.
Oh, wow.
And I had to do something.
Yes.
And my parents, they really believe in me. Like, I was never the kid that they had to worry about, because I always just overachieved, and I was like, damn, I can't let them down.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, I gotta do it. And I felt like I had a passion for it, and I knew it was for me. So I just kept going for it.
That's
knew
deep,
it.
Des.
That is.
It's
I didn't even
real.
know that.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's why she's so bossy right now. Sit next to us.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, you do have to go through those struggles. I think it
You
makes
do.
us stronger.
Absolutely.
You know, because
Hell
it's
yeah.
in that time that our strength is tested, you know, and I feel like God's just trying to mold you to something greater.
Absolutely.
He got to
yes.
get you there.
I needed it.
Yeah,
I
and
needed
you can't
it.
get there in the person you was before.
Baby, if he would have let me pass that test and become a luxury real estate agent right off the bat, I'm telling you, I would have
Yeah.
been something else. And he'd have took it away from me. So
Yeah.
I'm happy I didn't get that.
Yeah, you got it the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, I was watching this video this morning of one of your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that really just watching inspired me is sometimes we have to like talk ourselves through it. And you said at the end of it, I'm going to make you believe that you're unstoppable. When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like in everything we
Yep.
do, we have to really make ourselves believe that we're unstoppable.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot about your story and everything you went through. Where did that come from? Like just the whole mentality that you have to like never give up.
I mean, I can take you back to when I was 13. I mean, when my mom died, the responsibilities she prepped me for was magnificent. I mean, I never knew, you know, as a kid, I never really had a childhood. I constantly thought about if I played ball, you know, when I was playing ball, I was like, I got to get a scholarship. I don't have people to pay for me to go to school, you know, so I was constantly in a role of ownership. Right. And so when I thought as an owner, I only thought as an owner since I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And what my mother thought, well, that took time for me to understand why I had this type of mentality, because my mother prepared me for this role.
Yep.
And so the greatest thing that she could have ever done was say, hey, I need you because you're the oldest sister. And you have two sisters under you, and I need you to be responsible for these two sisters. So at 13 years old, prior to her passing away, I was already being prepped. So when people talk about their 10, you know, I'll sit and I watch a lot of celebrities and a lot of people, man, I mean, they go deep. You know, they always talk about the 10,000 hour, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, damn, I'm invested. You know, because I'm like, I'm over 10,000 hours. You know,
work in.
I've been putting the work in since I was a youngin', you know. I remember when in the summer times, even before school, I was the kid, I was the girl that I'm like, dude, I'm not wearing no girl clothes. Like, I got to get out of here in the morning before the bus get here and school these dudes real quick, you know. That was my mentality.
Playing basketball?
Oh, playing ball, yeah. And that was my mentality because the competition. It wasn't necessarily, it was the motivation, really, because every dude wanted to conquer. Like, I'm gonna kill you this time. Like, I'm gonna really murder you before school. They never could do it, right? And so every morning I got up, that was like a thing I looked forward to, was dominating. So I've been shaped into this woman since I was a kid, right? And so at 13 years old, growing up, I'm thankful for what my mother did. You know, she was prepping me for her death, but also to live, you know, and there's a lot of things that I missed out on. Like, I really just kind of tapped into womanhood at the age of 26, 27 years old. I never had a woman mentor that took me under their wing and say, hey, this is how you do things. So to me, this was huge for me. This is really huge for me. And so I was being taught how to live and how to survive more so than, hey, this, you're a woman, straighten your back, girl.
Yeah.
You know, and you're this, you know. I was being taught how to do those things just to survive. So I had my survival kit was already given to me when I was young. It was given to me when I was young. So you put me in, literally that quote, and you say you throw me in to the wolves, I'll return back. You know, that's me.
What next?
You know, what's next? You know, and so I'm constantly asking myself, even when I get down on myself, or even when I'm going through some turmoil or life. I don't care who you are. You go through stuff, right?
Life don't stop happening.
Yeah, it don't
to
stop
you.
for you, man. And when you're going through something, I always tell people, man, just put your dukes up and keep fighting, because I guarantee you stay the course. You know, and that's the thing. I stay the course. I don't care what it looks like. I'm staying the course. And every day I get the opportunity to wake up and do what I love doing. I don't care if I got one client. I used to tell my trainers, you know, I do camps in Houston when I come down, and I used to always tell my trainers, I didn't start with all these people out here before now.
Yeah.
I started with just me. You know, I was 285 pounds. I lost myself. You talking to an athlete here. You talking to someone that was born into fitness. So now I'm also standing in my humiliation too. You know, I'm standing here and I'm like, Jay, that's you? Like, dang, I remember we used to be so fine. You know? And now it's like, I'm 285, you know, and I'm fighting my way back. Yeah. And I let you be a part of that. I let people be a part of that when I was fighting that journey. I want to
transformation, you know, because some people like hide. They go like,
man,
lose
please.
Their weight, then they come back and say, look at me. But you went through that whole process
in front of people's eyes. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not afraid of my story. You know, I'm not afraid of my freedom. Whenever I speak of anything, I'm free. You cannot use it against me. Yeah. I'm free.
I love that.
I'm totally free. Like, you can't use nothing against me. You can Google about me.
Yeah.
How can you gonna use that against me when I've already given it to the world? You can't do that, you know. So to me, I'm already free about who I am. So really, honestly, I'm always getting better because I'm not afraid of what you can do to me. I'm not afraid of what anybody can do to me or anybody can say about me. I'm free in my own skin. I'm literally free. So my thing is, I'm a bossy woman that can boss up and say, yo, I did that. Yeah, and that was me. But I'm doing this now. Did you check me out now? I'm doing this now. So yeah, correction is everything, and checking yourself is everything. So that's what's part of that journey too. So what she said earlier about having that faith, you got to have faith too, in the fact that you're constantly evolving. You're not staying the same. You know, especially like she said, she saw people. Desi said she went to Dallas with her girlfriends, and she saw the other. You know, she saw what she wanted. Yeah, right. And so she painted a picture. I want that. Right? And she realized that she could have it. That was a second step. Like, I realized I can actually have that. The third step was her actually going and putting the pieces together saying, you know what, I'm going to start lining them up.
That's the blueprint.
That's the blueprint, man.
That's the blueprint. Without it, I mean, what the heck you going to do? If you don't have any structure regarding that, how you going to be accountable to yourself? Like, what's going to hold you accountable every single day when you out trying to make something happen?
Yeah, like
especially
you said,
hard
with the plan and execute.
That create, plan, and execute, I tell you, like, I wrote that on my board so big. And I just, every day I went at it, you know, trying to make sense, you know, what need to make sense. What didn't make sense, I put it on this side, you know. And I just started ripping it apart, you know, and you have to. And then finally, I got a plan. I was like, okay, God, we got a plan. Yeah. Finally got a plan. Let's go. Let's go. Execute it. And that's what I did. And I mean, it's podcast. It took 6 months of me sitting and working and developing and trying to see where I want this vision to go, what I wanted to look like, what I wanted to be. Because as soon as God gave me the vision, I was like, okay, it's go time. But you can't just go to shit. You know, you got to sit down. You got to, you know, plan that thing out. Like, what I'm going to do here, what I'm going to do there. And then you execute. So 6 months later, I'm executing it. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm excited about it because, I mean, how many people, I don't know anybody who would have, I do know a couple of people who would have did this and said, well, you know what, Stephanie, maybe it's not for you. Because in that 6 month period, I did have some hiccups, you know, some situations. And I thought about, you know what, maybe I should just do it later. Maybe this is not my time. But I had to stick to it because I know, I mean, if God gave you a vision and plan to do something. Absolutely. You know, you don't wait. You know, when he say go, you go. Absolutely. You know, you don't be putting him on pause.
For real. Yeah. You get in trouble.
Now, we're coming up on our 15 minutes because, of course, we only go live on Facebook for 15 minutes, give you guys a taste. And it will be available on Spreaker and iTunes, and I'll post the details tomorrow. So thank you all for joining us and my guests at the Bossy Table.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's been amazing. And you know what? Download the rest of the show so you can see what else we about to talk about, because we about to dive in deep. You rolling? Okay. Now, one question I do have for you, Desi, because you kind of piggybacked off it a little bit, and I just wanted to ask you that question.
Mm-hmm.
Right when you felt like maybe this is not for me, or maybe you thought about it for a second,
Mm-hmm.
what was you in your mind, like, what was you thinking and said, you know what, go for that test one more time? Like, go take it one more time.
I didn't have any other option.
You didn't have no other
No,
options?
I wasn't going back to school. I didn't have the patience. I need to make money now. I already seen what I wanted, and I wanted to execute it. And plus, I had it in my mind, and I had a plan. And like I always say, it's like getting in a car with no directions. You don't know where you're going if you don't have a plan. You don't have a goal. You don't know what. I had a goal, so I had to keep going for it. And to come to find out, my necklace was underneath my seat the whole time. So.
Oh, good.
Good. That was like God telling you, let me motivate her some more.
And it was
Get her
way,
right.
girl, when I had done started becoming a realtor and everything, I found
Yeah.
that necklace. I didn't forgot about it. I'm like, yes. So.
And it's the funny thing is I know when I didn't pass my test, I had a friend tell me, well, Stephanie, it's not for you then. And I'm like, and that's why you can't listen to people.
No,
not
not at
You gotta
all.
put them blinders on. It was like, well, maybe
No.
you shouldn't do real estate. Like,
No,
not-
and see.
No?
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I should
No.
do.
See,
You know?
someone told
we encounter
me.
that all the time.
Yeah, someone told me, with real estate, you either got the luck or you don't. I had a friend. I had two friends that was a realtor. One of them, he had the truck with everything marketed on it, and then the other one, he didn't do much, but he got a lot of business. But the one that marketed a lot didn't get much. I'm like, baby, I don't care what they did. I
Yeah.
know what God told me I'm going to do, and I did it. And
Yeah.
I feel
that
like
focus.
sometimes the haters and the talk like that motivates me because I'm stubborn. So.
What you say? You got say it. Come on, say it. Let's go. Say it.
No, I just said if you had 2 haters and 1 supporter, you got 3 supporters.
You got 3
Yep.
supporters.
You got 3 supporters.
Because they believe in you more than you believe in yourself.
But
Mm-hmm.
if
It's a
you didn't
reason.
have, because I feel this way, intimidation is, when someone sees something great in you, that's what I consider it to be. You obviously see my greatness. You're intimidated by it.
See my
And
light.
so instead of you seeing what I am doing that's positive, you rather pull the negative out of it. So
Absolutely.
it's just, you got 2 haters, you got 1 supporter, you got 3 all together. How many supporters you got?
3.
3. Yeah. 'Cause they believe in you more
Yeah,
than you
3.
know.
They totally believe in you, but we do need those people to fuel us. We
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
If you're really serious about what you're going to do, you need those people to fuel you. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because then, just in times when you feel like, oh my gosh, the whole world's watching me. I don't know if y'all feel like that, but whenever I'm doing something,
Yeah.
I like to back up because I'm like, people watching me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to a point, so I was like, I'm not afraid to fail in front of people no more because I really don't see it as failure. You know?
It's lessons.
Mm-hmm.
I always learn. I never fail.
Yeah.
I always learn.
I think you fail when you don't try because,
Yeah,
just think
when
about
you
how
give up,
many
you fail.
ideas you get and that you actually act on.
Yeah,
The
and-
ones you talk yourself out of.
And it's crazy, like you said, when you thought about waiting, but sometimes we wait to the perfect time. Forget the perfect time.
It may
Jump
not
in.
come. It may not come, you know?
Because if you're uncomfortable, that's what you need to be.
Yep.
So
Get
Get
God put you in a
uncomfortable.
situation where you really are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He'll strip you and I would say this too, because I can remember just a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, my life was just different. I woke up to, oh my gosh, I have nothing going on with my life. I don't want to do anything. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I had never been that person who did not know what she wanted to do. I always knew my purpose. My purpose was this is what I'm going to do. And then when I just was no longer flowing in it and it wasn't feeling right, I put it on the back burner. I was like, okay, God, what are we going to do next? And so I was in that space. So I kind of feel what you're saying when you feel depressed, you feel
Yeah.
suicide. I was there. I got up to a glass of wine some mornings. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah,
you know?
baby, yes.
And that's what I did to get through my day because that's how dark it got.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just told God, I was like, you know what? You got something you working with me. Something needs to fall off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you're doing it with me. And I just did not lose faith in the fact that I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know when the vision was going to come.
Right.
I was like,
But you
when's
stayed
it coming?
faithful.
Because I didn't know when. And I just kept moving. My friend, I joke around with her because I tell her, half the time when y'all was, coming to pick me up, I had a little in my purse,
Mm-hmm.
my little flask.
Yeah.
Through the day. I'm not lying. I had a little flask.
Mm-hmm.
I just life was kind of crazy around that time. But
Yeah.
I'm thankful for those dark times because it showed me that I can overcome and do anything and I can get past whatever. And those things don't define you.
Right.
Mistakes that we make Decisions we make are not, good decisions do not define us.
Right.
We define us. And I feel like I'm always redefining my Bossy. Who I was last year is not who I am today.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing about grace and mercy that God gives us. We get a chance to recreate our lives.
And sometimes you know that you don't want to go back to that dark place, so you're going to grind your ass off to just keep it going.
You're going to work hard because you don't want to go back there.
Absolutely.
We've all been in those places. And I heard someone say, you're never in a sunken place. You may think you're there in your mind, but you're really not there because grace is always with you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's just what got me to the point where I was like, no matter what I go through, we're creating my best life. If it does not make sense, I'm going to get rid of it. And I think sometimes we're so comfortable with the way our life is that we're afraid to really pick apart what no longer makes sense.
Right.
Because we know it's going to be uncomfortable. We know it's going to be change.
Oh, yeah.
But I think one thing about me, I just never been afraid to change.
Yeah.
And grow and come out of something and not be defined by just one thing.
Absolutely.
And back to you over there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm enjoying this conversation.
Now, I do want to ask you, when you went from, how much did you weigh again?
285.
285. Wow. How did you get that weight off? Like, what was your process? Like, did you change your diet? What did you do?
I just went back to the blueprint I knew. Hustle and grinding.
I can't imagine you that big.
I'm an athlete. That's what people don't understand. I think a lot of people see me and they think that I'm just this person that's on Instagram or Facebook that just picked up. I've been an athlete since I was a kid. This is what I do. I was born into fitness. This is not something I just picked up, So my life revolved around fitness. Like I said, I was the kid that was waking up in the morning. Even with I remember my uncle used to wake us up at 5 in the morning. We used to have to go to the track before school. So my grind has always been different.
That's why you be up at 4 a.m., huh?
Every morning.
Oh, my gosh. I'm trying to get like that 4 a.m.
My first grind is at 4 a.m., and people think that's crazy. You even ask me, like, Andrea, when do you sleep? Honestly, I do.
I'm like, when? I'm looking like for real.
It's funny because when I'm in if I'm around friends or something, I'm like taking a cat nap in the car real quick. Constantly, I'm like, oh, give me 10 minutes. When I went to get my eyelashes done earlier, I was like, all right, I'm gonna lay right here for 10 minutes. I'm trying to find my sleep, but people don't understand. You hear two things. You hear things that say I'll sleep when I die, right? And you hear things that other philosophers, I always love saying, they say, you gotta sleep. You need time to sleep. The truth is, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm grinding, don't bring that shit to me. I'm gonna be real with you. Because if I stay up 3 days straight, I get it. I'm gonna go to sleep. But I gotta finish what I gotta do.
Absolutely.
I'm just go to sleep.
That's
and
a lot of passion.
So determined.
Yeah, because sometimes even if I'm asleep, my subconscious mind is really not asleep.
I know.
So my thing is that I gotta get it out. And so when you are this passionate about what you're doing, and that's all I care about. I care about when people connect with me, that they don't just see an entrepreneur. They see a woman that didn't give up. And I had a lot of obstacles in my life, and everything that I look at, what I've experienced in my life is a moment of saying, like, I'm choosing not to give up. I'm making a choice not to give up, because it's easy for me. It's easy for all of us, actually. We're all beautiful women. We all know this. Come on, clap.
Hey.
No, seriously, we're all beautiful women. It's easy for us to find a good man, and well, you're married, but find somebody and just honestly say, hey, we're not gonna take. We can just sit back and let you do you.
Exactly.
But we're making a decision. We're saying, hey, we want our independence, and it's not taken away from anybody or anybody we're even with, or anybody we do a partnership with. Whether it be in business or a relationship, it's saying that this is who I am. This is what I want in my life, and this is what I'm willing to go and die to do. And so people always ask me, like, Andrea, do you know this is where God wants you? I said, if you're willing, I can tell you this much. I'm willing to die doing what I'm doing. I'm obsessed with what I'm doing. Okay? Yep. So people always say, well, you're up at 4 in the morning, then your last client is at 10:30 at night. I am willing to die doing what I'm doing, and I
Wow.
mean that, you know. And
Yeah.
so with that type of mentality, I go into my day saying, God, if you ever take me in my obsession, you know. So, and if you choose
That's
not
amazing.
to, if you choose not to, then I pray that I'm thinking about it, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because I did what you truly called me to do.
Yeah, that's
and
how
that was to connect with people, you know, and to be a connector in my field. Fitness is not it for me. Okay, fitness is the beginning of something great. Me feeding the homeless is something great. Me cutting hair at the barbershop when I had a barbershop in LA, it was something. It was the beginning to fuel something else. I'm headed. You know, that's just like you. You're a realtor. You're starting Bossy Woman's Guide. Imagine the ride over here. You had all types of bumps in the roads to getting here. You know,
I didn't think I was gonna make it.
yeah,
I was
she
like,
was traffic. It was traffic. It
I was
was.
about to pull these braids out.
Yeah, it was traffic. It was flowers.
It was everything,
So
just
if you
little small
picture that,
stuff.
if you picture that, and if I pictured your route on your way here, it was crazy.
It was crazy.
But I'm just saying, like, if I had a roadmap from where you were driving from to this place, to Spirit TV, right now in this
Yes.
office, it was crazy. And in that moment of you driving here, literally, I guarantee your thoughts was, I guarantee you, like, oh God, you know what? No, God. You had like this bipolar moment,
I
like,
did.
ooh,
I was like, I literally,
So,
when
man,
I was about to cry, I was like, man,
yeah,
this
you
is
was
not
like,
today.
I'm about to cry, you know?
Not today, not today.
Yeah, she was like, I'm about to cry, and I'm like, I'm not even finna write anything back because she need this moment, you know? And then she said something powerful to me, and you said, everything is going exactly how it's supposed to go, and that's the
Absolutely.
fact, you know. And I tell people, you know, I did an event, and the young lady had, like I told you, a couple of people there, and I told her, I said, stop looking at the numbers. Like, look at who was here and what they left with.
Yes.
You know, I went there to speak, you know, and the thing is that you're looking at the numbers. Who cares about the numbers? You know, they always say quality over quantity, and that's a
Absolutely.
fact.
True.
That's a fact, you know. So I prefer my quality over quantity. So when I started even a boot camp, I performed I gave my all in front of one person, whether I'm giving it in front of one or in front of thousands.
Yeah.
You know, God has blessed me to travel the world and do what I do and internationally. So for me to be at the place that I'm at today and say, hey, I know I didn't get here only performing in front of you guys. I performed in my mirror first. You know, I
Absolutely.
performed. I knew I was accepting an award already. God, let me first. I want to give honor to God.
I'm telling
God,
you.
thank you so
You
much,
gotta
man.
see
They said it's a mirror.
And I
See
tell
it
you,
and
I have the
believe
best
it.
conversations in the shower.
Yeah.
The best. I mean, I'm like the shit in the shower.
You
Like, let me
believe in
tell you, I can
yourself.
sing. I didn't run a Grammy. I don't even know where I got the Grammy from.
I don't know who gave
Emmys,
you
I didn't even know. You know, things I've done in the shower. My imagination has brought
That's
me through my
amazing.
day. You know, so before I even prep and go into my day, my imagination in the shower is prepping me for my day. So I say that to say the best and the most creative people in the world have a very, very crazy imagination.
Yeah.
And they're always, some people think they're all over the place.
Yeah.
They get it.
They
I
know what
get
they're
it.
doing. That's why I
get it.
say
I do
I'm
myself,
not.
like,
I'm not
I know
always
me.
practical, but you got to get crazy
Yeah,
if
you
you're an
gotta get
entrepreneur.
crazy,
You
man.
got to get
I'm
crazy,
crazy.
not always practical.
I'm
It's
crazy.
the crazy people who change the world, in my belief,
Absolutely.
because you
I'm
don't give
crazy.
up. Like, you don't listen to nobody
don't
say,
give
like,
up,
Hell
you
no.
so dead
Like, what
set
the
on.
hell is wrong with her?
This is what it is, and y'all can't tell me nothing
Hell
about what
no.
I'm doing.
Absolutely.
But that's like the attitude you have to have when you're doing anything.
Anything.
That's going to be great. You know?
Absolutely.
And whatever it is, whatever field you're doing it in, I mean, you dominate in it. You always tell me, I don't care what you do, dominate in that.
If
Yeah,
you sell
do
gum,
it.
dominate. Find a way to
Go
make the best
hard.
rappers. I don't care what you're
Dominate.
doing. And it's not a competition. It's more motivation. That's why I tell people I'm not. Let me tell you something. Competition is competition. You sell it for $9.99. I think I should sell it for $11.99. If we can sell the same product. But it's all about the energy too. What we talked about at lunch yesterday, it's about that energy too.
Yeah.
You gonna come? You come to me. You come to me. If you don't, guess what? I'm not missing a beat. I didn't get in this field. God, I will. If I put everything I have into it, I will always stay. God will always bless me.
Yeah.
If I do it with the right heart, and
Absolutely.
I will always be. I will never go without. Never go without. So I don't worry about competing with nobody. But I am gonna dominate in this field. And if you feel offended by it, you just get
so-
deep behind me. You know.
You so bossy. What was it? It was the last year or the year before when you had 25 trainers. Like, I've never seen anybody do this in Houston who get 25 trainers, and most of them were men. And this is a woman who's doing this, like putting this on, and you know, your name alone could bring people to you anyway, but still, in your work ethic. But still, I was there to watch that. I was like, wow, like I had never seen nothing like that. And it was
powerful.
It was hundreds of people out there the park working out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people with their kids, people, you know, it's families, it's people who are motivated to want to. And then the fact that you motivate the hell out of people, where they just like,
Steph, I want to work with greatness. I'm not. That's why I say it's not a competition.
Yeah.
I see great people. There's great trainers in Houston, Texas. There's great
Yeah.
great
And
trainers
you brought
around the
them,
world.
yeah.
And that's the deal. I'm not in. I don't care what you do. I don't
Yeah.
care how you look. The thing is, I know I'm great, and
Yeah.
and you gonna see it. You gonna feel it. You gonna hear it. Eventually, the thing is, I'm not afraid of other great people. I want to work with great people. And if you're good at what you do, let me rub off on you. I rub off. You know, we do the same things with each other. We make each other better. So whatever they're doing in their life now, so be it, right?
Yeah.
But at that moment in time, it was about that moment and motivating people at that moment in time and prepping ourselves for that great moment.
Yeah.
And it was an idea. I'm just happy that everybody agreed to it. Man, I had trainers man, it was a blessing, honestly. I mean, every trainer that was there are amazing people. You know, they're amazing
The
human
best
beings. They're
trainers, yeah.
amazing at what they do. And I don't care. I'm not in my feelings about what they do.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I do me the way I do me. They do them, you know. May God be forever. They forever have peace upon their life. I'm going to do me, you know. But
Absolutely.
the reason I had 20, and trust me, working with men is Lord. No offense. You deal with so many egos.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
You
Just,
deal with
just
a
to
lot
say,
of
just to
egos.
be real,
Oh,
like
yeah.
she looked back at our producer Gary, like, being here with a
for real.
room full of ladies, and we just chatting. Don't hold back at this bossy table, like don't hold back.
Nah, Gary seemed super cool when she bought that balloon, and he was like, "Ooh, that's cute." I was like, "Oh, he cool. He think that's cute."
But no,
But
I
no.
think that was great because even when everything was over, because I know your schedule is like so busy, like you were telling everybody, like, look, it's trainers. Like your best investment is your health and your wealth. Get with some of these trainers, and that was another reason why you brought them there.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
can't. There's no way I can take the whole Houston
Yeah.
by myself.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can't. I mean, it's impossible. So that's why I don't understand when trainers. If you are training with her, right, but me and you meet and our energy is flowing, and you say, "Man, I gotta try you," and you realize that I am the trainer that you need. Trust me, I'm not it. I will never get in my feelings for that.
Yeah.
You got to go what works for you. And I know a lot of trainers, they get in their feelings about clients that leave them. And man, let me tell you something. You really are doing what you say you love doing. You wish it's like a relationship. If you really love the person you with,
Yeah.
let them go if they're not for you. You know, because the thing is, love, it doesn't really, it's no cage. It's no
Right.
cage. You got to free this bird. You know, so the thing is just that, like, in this business of mine, I'm not in my feelings about, I wouldn't care. I'm not in my feelings.
Yeah.
I work with great people. I mean, I'm my brother alone. Let's just, let me just say this. He's one of the top trainers in the world.
Yeah.
I can stand next to him. I can stand next to anybody. He's one of the top trainers. I can go in GNC right now and see my brother's poster. He's working with the biggest comedian in the world, you know, and staying afloat. Not only being a trainer, but a businessman.
Yeah.
So when I see that's motivation within itself, I have these seeds in my own family, you know, so I'm constantly motivated,
Yeah.
you know, and my brother, I would FaceTime them the other day. It's just constant motivation. You know, we feed off each other. We're a blessing to each other, you know, but how can you not be great when you got
Yeah.
greatness around you?
That's why I love bossy women.
Man,
Like, I
like
like to
you-
be around
but
a
bossy-
woman that's doing something.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
you're
and
thinking
creating some
of
change.
abundance and not lack. That's just like with realtors. I think of abundance and not lack. That's why I share so much information with realtors that are starting, realtors that are. I have a realtor shadowing me this weekend from my open house that hadn't even got her license yet, just to help somebody else. Because I feel like if you help enough people, God will get you to where you need to go.
That's facts.
But think of abundance. Don't
That's
think of lack.
facts. That's facts. I mean, that's abundance.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good word. Abundance. You know, because
absolutely.
we have to think of abundance constantly. You know, because like I said, and like you said, I can't take everybody in Houston.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and the thing is, we are born. We were here. We're here to use each other, but not misuse each other.
Right.
And that was a point in time in my life to where I didn't even really get that quote because I was misusing people, not knowingly, not in a business,
Wow.
but in relationships. You know, just not being a good steward over what has been given to me. Good relationships, and you know, how people say you burn bridges or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But yeah, I just
Burning some
wouldn't.
bridges.
Man, listen, okay. But I just want being a good steward, you know. And the thing is just that I always think abundance, like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And if I can help, I check trainers all the time. And I got a client for you. You know, they might not want my prices,
Yeah.
you know, but I know a trainer that they just starting off. They need the clients. Let me throw you some trainers. I know trainers that I've sent media stuff to. You know, hey,
Exactly.
hey, call my boy. He needs the media. You know, I'm always looking out for my people. My thing is, somebody looked out for me. Opportunity is opportunity.
Exactly.
Somebody looked out for me, you know, so I will, you know, I don't know. Abundance is everything.
Yeah,
What
and
was the motivation? Because you see a lot of people who always say they want to change the world, you know, and you hear that, but you don't always see it. But you actually did that when you went to Africa. What was the motivation to go to Africa and take your wellness and refuel your company to them?
I started my company, a year and a half ago? A little over a year and a half ago. And that's why you see me not sleeping. I realized that if I can do, my thing is I don't have a large following, but I have a large following. You get me what I'm saying? I don't have a large following on Instagram, but I got a real large following. And so what I realized what God did for me, he put my footprints across the world. He gave me international footprints. And so he allowed me to connect with hitters, big hitters.
Absolutely.
You know? And so even though you might not know me on Instagram, I'm cool with that. But I know Billy Bob over there in Africa, and Billy Bob can get me into that university, you know? And so those are the people that I want to talk to. And so, to be honest, I've always had a mentality, you know, before I started this, I prayed for God to give me global footprints. I didn't pray for local footprints. I didn't pray for be the best trainer only in Houston. Hell, I didn't even know I was going to be a trainer in Houston. I prayed for God to give me whatever it is he was going to give me. And then I stopped telling God my plan. That's the truth. I'm not making that up. I stopped telling God my plan.
That's so true.
I just said, God, whatever you want to do with me, do it. And you know,
Desi,
when we were at lunch yesterday, when I was telling you, when I was getting on that plane to go to Saudi Arabia for the first time, I'm gonna come back to Africa too. When I was going to Saudi Arabia to work, 22 hours. I thought about 22 hours. I'm like, man, 22 hours. God,
That's a long time.
It's a long time. I'm waking up. I'm scared. I'm having anxiety. Everything that I thought about that could talk me off of getting off that plane was in my mind. And I said, you know what? No. I got to this airport safely. I'm gonna get on this piece of metal and I'm gonna go across this world. And I remember having anxiety I got off that plane. This is a true story. I got off that plane. My anxiety was off the chain. And then I realized that when I got in the car and my driver picked me up, I mean, it was madam, anything, madam. When I got to my compound, madam, anything, whatever you need. You're talking about being treated like you're worthy, like of something, you know. And so God showed me, like, you know, anything that you want to do. You said you wanted. Make sure that you want it.
I'm gonna put it in your
You
face.
didn't ask me where you wanted to go. You said global footprints. So I'm gonna put you around. I'm gonna give you global, but understand that I'm taking you to a place of isolation too.
Absolutely.
And so that was another thing. I went to a place of isolation. I ain't have no friends there. Some of them didn't even speak a language. I even had to learn how to say hello. You know. So now I'm delving into. I'm in a Muslim country, right? And now I'm delving into also speaking Arabic and doing all these other things. And I'm here and I'm doing this. And I'm like, I got to the point where even when I came home, I'm like, God, I'm ready to go back. It was a peace that God gave me there, you know, in the sense of isolation. And so by me being in Saudi Arabia was a peace, you know. But I say that to bring back to Africa was that the lady that served my coffee every morning, you got to understand, I didn't have to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have to. In Saudi Arabia, my client didn't wake up until I didn't go train till the evening. I was getting paid. God gave me time. Do you understand that? You know what time is? God gave me time to create Refuel. God gave me time to sit back and say to birth it. And I had a lot of time on my hands. So I started writing. I said I knew. Matter of fact, there was people that was writing me didn't even know. They still don't know when I'm in Houston or not in Houston. They said, the whole time I thought you were in Houston. No, ma'am. I was across the world doing my thing on a computer. You know what I'm saying? I've been on a computer for 7, 9, 8 months. I've been running this thing from a computer the whole entire time. I wasn't even in Houston. I had content that I was putting out. It looked like I was in Houston, but I wasn't even in Houston. You know, even time when we were talking, it was just, I wasn't in Houston. You know, they was like, where you been? So the lady that served my coffee every morning, she's from Ethiopia. And tears came to my eyes, you know, because I had I told you guys yesterday, I had such this egotistical attitude. Like I made it.
Right.
Like, girl, you think you are. You know, I did something that was, no, you did not yet.
No.
You know, you ain't done nothing yet. And don't ever forget that I brought you here. I got this plane. I landed this plane here when you was scared. So now you happy, you know, now you think you got it all together because you was just 22 hours ago. You was scared, you know. So, and this is just a fact. These are facts, you know. And so I had an Ethiopian woman serve my coffee every morning. I didn't have to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but I made a commitment to myself, and I made a commitment to God that I won't stop until you call me home. And so the thing is that I'm not going to stop, and that's why I give people that mentality. You got to go. You are unstoppable. Can't nobody stop you.
Yeah.
Desi, you can't stop me. Nothing you say or do can stop me. Even if you put your hands on me and pin me down right now, I am still unstoppable.
Absolutely.
My mind is constantly racing. I'm still speaking to God in my mind. I'm unstoppable. I don't think you understand. I'm creating in my mind, even if you stop my body. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's what it's about, though.
Yeah, we get attacked in all types of ways. So let me get to it. So Ethiopian lady serve me coffee. I got 1 minute to get this out. You understand?
Maybe not even a whole minute.
All right, I got 2 seconds, 10 seconds.
Get it out, girl.
Ethiopian served me coffee, and I realized that this woman can get up at 4 o'clock, work 19-hour shifts. Damn it, I can get up too.
Damn it, you can
You
get
know
up
what I'm
too.
saying?
Shit,
And she's
I
not
mean-
even making the money that I'm making.
Wow.
And understanding she was thankful that I even wanted to speak to her. You know, so to me, I totally understood at that moment in time that your work here is not done, and it will never be done. And if you don't live and you don't have a legacy building mentality, you will fail. And that's all I think about is building a legacy way beyond after I leave here. And that's what makes me go. And that's why I'm unstoppable, because I think about legacy. And I got a 14-year-old son, and that boy gonna be great.
Yeah.
I love
Legendary.
it. I love it. You know what? I do want to just end our show because this is, girl, you know, we can keep going.
Yeah.
Like, I already knew when we had lunch yesterday this was going to be fire. I was ready. I was ready. But the amazing thing about the reason why I'm doing this show is to have women come on here and we co-create, we share. And then we also sound our voices, and especially for women in other places who can't, you know, because I'm reminded by the women who don't have freedom. You know, we get to wake up every morning and do what we want to do, and we have freedom. So why not create your best life? Why not do what you have to do, what God has given you to do to create your best life?
Absolutely.
And I'm talking to the women who feel like, oh my gosh, no matter what you're going through right now, you may be in a bad marriage or just whatever your situation may be. I mean, you do have the tools within you to create your best life. And now is the time, not tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised. And so I thank you all for joining us at the Bossy Women's Podcast and joining us at the Bossy Table with my friends.
Thank
They are
y'all.
my friends. They're not just bossy women. They're also my friends. And I keep women around me who inspire me because they make me better and they make me greater. And I am so thankful for you ladies.
Thank you.
I have to say one thing before I go, please. My son just texted me at 7:19. I kid you not, and he said, "I got to get this off my chest." Stephanie, how and why is she so beautiful?
Thank you, Spencer.
Boy, you 14. You ain't get out there. What's wrong with you?
I think she looks like a
Spencer.
perfect
Oh my
little Barbie doll.
Yeah.
I have all girls. I'm a girl mama, so boys are like, they get to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you all for joining us. The full show will be available. I'll post details. You can find us on iTunes and Spreaker. Thank you all for joining the Bossy Women's Guide podcast. I hope you guys had some fun.
Thanks for having us,
listening.
Steph.
Yes,
Thanks for having
and I
us.
look forward to bringing some more ladies to the table. Thank you.